Are we live?
Yeah.
No spin out.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We're live.
Sweet.
The lovely law firm here, MyrtleBeachBikerLawyer.com. We're here on Friday, the last weekend of the 2024 Harley Davidson Bike Rally. I am here, represent the lovely law firm. I'm here with my special guest, Ro Romero.
How's everybody doing?
Ro's a local,
Happy to be here.
Yeah, Ro's a local biker and Rainey's husband. And they are a power duo here in the motorcycle community. We're glad to have you here, man.
Hey, man, I'm happy to be here, living the dream, and just trying to make sure my wife is proud of me when I get done.
Hey, I'm giving you a reason to sneak away from home, too, right?
I mean, kind of.
Yeah?
Yeah, a little bit. Or away from, wrenching on my bike.
Right.
To.
Yeah, no kidding.
Always.
Did you ride your bike down here?
I did not.
Did you get it fixed?
No.
You want to tell everybody about, you had
it.
an issue during the rally, and I think a lot of people have this when they come down here. This would be a good opportunity to give a safety tip, but tell everybody what happened to you.
So basically, and Rainey decided that she wanted to follow behind me as we left the house, which was great just because, you're always safer that way. You're safer in numbers, and if you can find somebody to go ahead and ride behind you, whether it be another bike or even somebody who has a car, just make sure you guys do that, okay? So you're better safe than sorry. And she was following me down, and all of a sudden we're sitting at a light and it just stopped. So my bike just stopped, and I was able to kind of get it off to the side, of the road, and she just parked behind me with her hazards on so that way I could fix it and get it back up and running again. And unfortunately it happened again, and I told her she just got to go on, and I was able to kind of get it into a parking lot at some point, and I found out what the problem is, and now I'm just trying to fix the problem.
Well, the good news is you did two things. One, you had an extra fuse, right, that got
That's
you
right.
down the road a little
That's
bit.
right.
And two, you were riding with someone, and someone knew where you were going, right?
100%.
Which is great because if something happens, which it did, you had somebody there to help you quickly, because that's an issue we see when people come down to the rally. So tell everybody, you own, and your wife, you own R&R Dance Studio. Kind of
Yep.
tell everybody about that. It's a local business here. It's very popular down here, and you got a cool background, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty cool, I think. We like to have fun. We own a all-adult dance studio. So it's kind of nice because of the fact that, I've done kids for years as far as, teaching kids since I was, 16 years old. So, I mean, I'm going 20-plus years in just teaching kids. And I kind of was like, all right, I can't do this anymore. You know what I'm saying? So we decided to open up an all-adult dance studio here because I noticed that we didn't have that here. And I've been to Los Angeles, I've been to New York, I've been to Florida, Texas, all these other places, bigger places that have some kind of a presence as far as theaters and stuff like that, has an outlet for adults to go and dance and just literally drop in, pay your money, dance, and then leave. You don't have to worry about registering. You don't have to worry about the contracts, any of that stuff. You can just go in, do your thing, and leave. And so I was like, you know what, we need to try and do something like that. And Rainey has a very, very extensive Latin background, and I had a really extensive hip hop background, so we kind of joined forces, and we've been able to kind of do what we do and open up an adult studio, and
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. So
I know, and a lot of our staff members have been down there and took some of your classes. So
yeah,
they said
Shelly
they
loves it, man.
Yeah.
Shelly loves
She does the Zumba, right?
Yeah. So she does. She was a Zumba instructor and everything, and then she came and did the hip hop cardio class, which is one of the ones that I teach and everything, and she loves it.
And that stuff's taking the world by storm right now, right?
Man,
I see that
Zumba.
everywhere.
Yeah, Zumba. They have their own crews and stuff. It's wild, dude. He has done something amazing, and for all ages, which is the coolest thing. And once you think that, you're like, okay, there's nowhere that and he finds another way to no, we can actually add this to it and then make it a whole new thing.
And you're doing a lot of corporate gigs. I see you all out. I've seen you at Top Golf. Where else have I seen you?
Yeah, man, we do Top Golf. We did 1229 Shine, which is the Market Common. What else have we done? I've done stuff with the Hangout as well, which is great. We do a lot of just different local places to eat and everything. Anywhere that has a decent floor that we can get into to do the Latin stuff, we'll go and we'll just kind of hang out for a night and just kind of spread the wealth and spread the love of dance.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
cool.
I'm
It's a cool studio. R&R Dance Studio. You're down in, where's it at? It's in Soxty?
It's in Soxty, yes.
Yeah.
It's right by the Cooper House and the Swing Bridge over there in Soxty on Dick Pond Road.
So you used to teach kids how to dance? Is that what you used to do?
Yeah, that's how.
I need to get my kids over to
that's
you.
That's kind of. I told you I don't do kids anymore.
You got to take a private lesson, too, more.
There you go. We got
to get the footwork down,
So we
man.
can do that. We can do that. I can definitely do private lessons. We do that for kids, and we'll even do some solos and stuff like that so that way they can go and compete. But actual week in, week out classes, we've kind of grown not just with the dance, but also with the DJ business, to where like I don't have the time to really do that anymore.
So when you say kids, do you mean like the Showstoppers and all that stuff, where they do the competition dance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do it all, man.
So okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, we do it all.
So you had your own team? Like, did you rep the squad, or how does that work?
So we did, which was crazy because, at 16, we were actually coming to Showstoppers from Ohio into like Tennessee, like when you guys used to do your regionals and stuff like that. It was awesome, man. It was really, really cool. But I was 16 and I was teaching my peers and kids younger than me for like competition stuff. And then we would go and compete, and then so on and so forth. But even after that, I always found my way back into basically teaching no matter where I was. So I've taught all over the place.
Yeah, that's
which
awesome,
is great.
man.
Yeah.
What's your YouTube, or not YouTube? Do you have YouTube? You got TikTok, I know, and Instagram. What's
So
your handle?
We have TikTok, and then we have Instagram, which is R&R Dance Studio for both. So, I mean, you can look that up on Facebook. It'll be the same on Instagram as well. And then R&R Dance is our .com as well.
Real cool, man.
Yeah.
So you've got a cool custom bike, and I talk safety tips, but I also talk to people about buying custom motorcycle insurance, because, of course, everybody is customizing their motorcycle. I wish we had your bike here, man, because you got an awesome rat rod bike. It's real custom. And the issue, if somebody got in a wreck on that, is how would you value that, all that custom work,
And that would be something that I come to you for.
No, exactly. That's why we're trying to get the word out here, man. Because we should have had some B-roll ready for this, everybody to see this. But
I can send some to Danny. He might be able to plug it in sometime or something like that.
We'll
So
do it tomorrow. But it's a big issue if you come down here. All these bikes are different. Rainey was looking at B-roll yesterday. I think we got some that we can queue up here and we can play. But if you've been to one of these rallies, there's no two bikes are the same, 100%.
Giving them out left and right, and people be loving them snap koozies.
Oh yeah,
is the hot commodity.
You got to keep your beer or your water cold, whatever you're drinking.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
But try to do something different this year. We did a snap koozie. Everybody's got a koozie, so we try to make something different. So if you stop by our booths, either here, we're also down at the Beaver Bar. You got some cool souvenirs, all free from the lovely law firm MyrtleBeachBikerLawyer.com.
It's crazy because they don't ever think that. They're like, wow, it's like really free? I'm like, no, it's like really free. So I've been literally like walking up to people, be like, here, snap koozie. And if they have a drink, and I'll just put it on there for them and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, thanks, man. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Because it fits on like the fork of the bike too, and
100%.
The handlebar. So that way they always have a koozie now.
Yeah, you never have to think about it.
Cool.
You're not going to leave something at home and not worry about it. We did the Palmetto. It's funny you say that. We did that, sponsored the Palmetto Motorcycle Skills Competition 2 weekends ago. Maybe it was last week. I don't know. I've lost track.
Was that the rodeo?
The motorcycle rodeo.
Yeah.
And we had a booth. We were giving out stuff, and this was all law enforcement was there from all. They had them from all over South Carolina, all over the South. They even had some Canadian teams competing. Man, that was sick what they were doing. But we had the booth set up with the same thing. Everybody was hesitant to come over here. We were like, well, come on, why aren't you coming to my booth? They thought we were selling something. We're not selling anything. We make the lovely law firm swag. It's new. It's custom. It's every year something different. And we got people that come by and get our souvenir T-shirts. We got one hanging. Where is that? Let's see. There we go.
Yeah, it's over there.
My
there.
thing's in reverse.
Yeah, it's over there.
But yeah, man, it's a cool deal.
It was cool because like literally that weekend I had actually saw your wife, because I was out DJing somewhere and she was going like right next door to it, and she told me that you guys were over at the rodeo, and she was like, man, this thing was crazy. She said it was like a time. She said she had so much fun.
Dude, those guys prepare it's basically it's your officer motorcycle teams. They're raising money for Camp Happy Days, which raises money for children all over the United States who have cancer, and so it's helping provide funding for their family and for those kids. But they're out there competing, doing wild stuff on motorcycles, man. Low speed, high speed, tandem drills, and I mean they're going full speed through these cones. I mean they're not missing a beat. It's crazy, man. They raised a lot of money this year. We were glad to help. North Myrtle Beach put that on behind Bass Pro. If anybody wants to do that next year, I'll put it on the calendar next year. Every year I'm gonna be involved in that. It's cool.
That's awesome, man. They actually, I don't know who it is as far as the police station goes, but they actually hold classes, like free classes for like to kind of advanced riders and stuff like that, to kind of take them through the courses that they have to go through and stuff like that. But they put that on like once a month or something like that. It's pretty awesome.
Huh, wild. I need to check on that.
Yeah,
because it looked fun, but
yeah.
I was telling them, I was like, if I try to do that, I'm falling down or I'm hitting the guy in front of me, because you got to really trust the guy in front of you and behind you, man. I mean, they are flying through those courses. It's nuts.
That's wild.
Elite. And they were telling me, I was talking to this guy, I was like, how much training do you guys have? And they're like, man, we're constantly training all day long, because these maneuvers, they look like maneuvers when they're on a course with cones, but in a real life scenario, that's the kind of stuff they're having to maneuver those motorcycles at high speed through.
Yeah.
You know, when they're chasing somebody or they're getting off road or whatever they're having to do in a motorcycle, on a pursuit or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's real cool stuff, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. One of my when I was here doing the class, actually, to get my license here at Harley Davidson, they always, not always, but one of them is actually a bike cop as well, and he's he's pretty high up and everything. And so seeing him do some of the maneuvers, like with somebody on the back of it too, like at real low speed, to where, and he's not touching the ground, he's not doing anything. I'm like, man, this is intense.
It's like perfect balance.
Oh
man.
my gosh, it's amazing.
So you took this course over here. They do this in this parking lot that we're set up in. I know you can't see it here, but
yeah.
They do that, I think, twice a month? So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday night, they kind of start you off with like your paperwork. Saturday, you're riding all day. Sunday, you're riding, and then also you take your test on Sunday as well. So it is, man, I can't speak high enough about it, because of the fact that it teaches you so much stuff. People who've been riding a long time and then they take that course, always like, man, there's so much stuff that I didn't know, and like it just kind of opened my eyes to a lot. So
it's a small group too. How many riders are doing it? Like 15 maybe?
Yeah, something like that. Something like 12 to 15 or
and
something.
It's intense.
So
It's classroom, and then you're out here on this course.
It's exhausting. It's exhausting because you're always on high alert too, right? Like you're like like this the whole time, especially if you're like a new rider and you're not used to the clutch and everything else, and just kind of learning the bike and everything. It's pretty intense.
Did you take it with Rainey or a different time?
No, I did a different time. She did hers in September and I did mine in November. So I actually lucked out on that, because she said she was so hot. They have to wear like long sleeves. I was like, I'd have been dying. I'd have been there like heat exhaustion.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. How many of the people do you think had zero experience out of your, let's say there was 15 there?
There was there's probably a good handful, like 5 or 6. We had one lady who was older and stuff, and she just, they'll tell you in the beginning, they're like, if you're not getting it, you won't have to worry about us failing you. You'll kind of just get off the bike. And we literally saw that. Like, this lady just wasn't getting it, and the second day, man, she was just like, I just can't.
Not for me.
Yeah, it's just, because I mean, it's hard. It's hard, like teaching an old dog new tricks kind of deal, and like you do have to relearn some different motor skills, what I mean, that you don't think about as far as just like hand and foot coordination.
Did she? Do you know if she went and bought a trike after that?
I hope not. I hope not. I hope not, man, because she almost ran into a couple walls. So yeah.
That's funny, man.
Yeah. But it's amazing.
And you definitely recommend everybody I know that's taking that. I need to take it, man, because I haven't done anything in a while, so I need to jump on here and sign up for this. I know they do it once or twice a month down here. I think Florence, Blackjack Harley Davidson also has a course. I'm not sure if Charlotte does it. I think it's just Myrtle Beach and then the Florence dealership. And I know Ori Georgetown has one too as well, but I'm not sure if they're still doing that. They used to do that once a month as well.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure
okay.
they're still doing it.
Yeah, I would never know, because I don't ever see anybody out there, so I'm not sure if they do it or not. But
if you take it too, you don't have to. Automatically pass your roadside test.
Yep.
So that's the good news about it. And it's pretty cheap too.
It was super. Yeah, I mean, it was super easy. Doing everything was pretty cheap and easy, as far as like you go, you do your written thing at the DMV, you come, you take the class. I think the class is sub like $200 or something like that for the whole weekend. And then literally, I got out with my test scores and stuff, took it the next day, and they just switch over your driver's license
to an active motorcycle.
Yep. So I mean, it's the coolest thing, and obviously now, do they really give you like discount as far as for taking the course for the insurance
absolutely.
side?
Absolutely. Did
That's
you
awesome.
report it to your insurer?
Yeah,
You better make sure if you want that discount.
You already know.
So our accident scene management classes also will give you an insurance discount. I always tell everybody, they say how much. I don't know. It depends. Everybody's rated differently, but definitely tell them, one, if you complete the Harley course, or two, if you take our accident scene management class. You've taken that several times, right?
No, so I haven't. I need to.
You've been like to half classes.
Exactly.
If you put them all together, you should give you your. You've been to the first half and the second half several times.
And even the advanced one, too.
Yeah. No, yeah.
We took the bike in last year to the advanced one, remember?
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's one that, I watch and I'm just like, man, I really need to, I really want to sit down and really get into this and stuff. And I know that it could be a hard pill to swallow because they show some pretty graphic stuff at these things and everything. So, but, I mean, it's... The knowledge is always, I mean, you can never get enough knowledge on anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that, especially, like, if you're riding by yourself, or if you're riding by yourself, or if you're riding in a group or whatever, like, just take advantage of that and just kind of be
I offer it for free, and I always tell everybody, if you don't want to do it for yourself, you think you know it all, that's great, but do it for your wife, do it for your kids, right? Or do it for your guys you ride with, because that's whose life you're going to save, right? And these are the tips that you're going to need. And what it is, we've got one scheduled in June. We've also got one, if you come by our booth, we can give you more information. But we got one scheduled in June. We've taught and trained hundreds of riders, local riders here in the Myrtle Beach community. And we also started a few months back. We've got some in Charleston and Goose Creek. We've got those classes going. But it's a all-day thing. We meet. I'll provide breakfast for everybody. You come in. We'll get you trained on life-saving maneuvers, life-saving first aid skills, how to remove a helmet, how to move somebody off the road, whether to move them at all, tourniquet procedures. And the reason these are important is, EMS, a lot of these guys have basic level training and they never get retrained to get their EMT certification. So that's problem number one, right? If they roll up on a scene, they'll be in shock as well and won't know what to do. And the second, probably the most important, is by the time you call 911 on a catastrophic injury, for them to even relay the call and then get to you. I mean, a lot of bad things can happen, or you could just simply pass away. So if you know how to protect yourself or protect a fellow rider with these tips that we train on, it's going to go a long way in saving a life.
Yeah.
So I love it. And then you mentioned the advanced course. We've got another one of those scheduled as well. Vicky Sanfilippo, who started Road Guardians, started this whole thing. She's going to come down and train everybody. I think we got that scheduled in October again, when it kind of cools down and riding season's kind of over.
She's awesome, man. And we've had people even come up to us at the booth and stuff, and I was just like, hey, we actually use some of our stuff for like a bee sting or like something, you know what I mean, that's in the package and stuff. And
I'm glad you're mentioning that, because I've brought a sample here. So we also give you this first aid kit that's real cool that you can keep in your saddlebag. And if you open it, it's got like 100 different items in there, first aid tools and things that you'll need, and that's part of your registration there. We also do them if people have a club and they want to they don't want to be with everybody else, they want us to do their club. We'll go out to your clubhouse, or we'll do a special class just for you. Again, I give breakfast. I'll come in, I'll teach you about insurance at the lunch hour, and then provide lunch as well. And we do them over at Horry Georgetown Technical College. They got a nice room there on the old Air Force Base, and it's awesome.
It's perfect. Yeah. It's kind of like the perfect setup for that, for sure. And we, the Hog chapters and stuff like that, they're always just like, we got new members, we're going to come and do another class.
Every time,
So,
every time Hog reloads, we get a class going. So Peter Ham, who's actually, I think he's the president, or he might be a past president of the local Hog chapter, he's our certified instructor, and so he's been teaching all our classes for us. And we got a few other instructors trained all across South Carolina. I don't just do them in Myrtle Beach, so we're doing them all over the place. So and that's our mission, man. I hope you never have to use me, and we can keep teaching each other these classes. I can keep putting these things on, keep showing up at these events, and we're here if you need me, but hopefully you never do. And we've educated you on the front end. We can save lives, and that's the key, and that's the mission.
Yeah, it's been one of the things that I've really noticed, like, not just with Rainey being with you for, the past couple of years, but even starting to ride bikes myself and then being in the presence of like everything else, you know what I mean? As much as you guys actually do for the community of the bikers, teaming up with like Rivertown Riders to have to help them out and do things with that. The vet riders and stuff like that. I mean, that was amazing having them come to the office and do all that stuff with you guys. I mean, it's just so cool to see. And
yeah, that was real cool,
awesome.
man. And they're giving back already, right?
Yes.
And so their goals align with our goals, as far as giving back to the community, giving back to organizations that we also support. And so let's kill two birds with one stone. I support them. I'll help them support their cause. Lovely Law Firm gets their name out. It's a triple win across.
Yeah.
And my staff enjoys coming out here and doing community service, man. We love it.
Yeah. I mean, what's not to like? Like being out here and being in this whole like.
It beats the office for sure.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It may be a little hot, but other than that, man, it's just like.
It kind of feels good today.
I mean, it's been a
couple days ago it was miserable. Oh my god.
It was pretty hot a couple of days ago, but
we'll give you a live view of, so everybody who's watching us right now, we'll kind of swing it around and show you what's going on right now. At least in our corner of the Harley Davidson booth, we've got a motorcycle raffle going on next door to us. We've got Rick Rack over here. Here's our booth right here. We got people signing up for our $20,000 motorcycle giveaway that we sponsor through NAML. Real busy time here. And the weather is holding up. It's supposed to not rain until this evening. So if you're thinking about real late.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about coming onto the beach when you get off of work, come on down, man, because tomorrow's going to be a huge busy day.
Rick Rack has been pretty cool to be right next to, because you get to see all the bikes and all the stuff that they do over at Rick Rack and stuff. So seeing a lot of the custom bikes, kind of like Justin was talking about before, as far as everybody not trying to have the same, like you make your bike your own type deal. And I mean, you definitely get to see it with some of these guys' bikes and stuff. So
absolutely, these guys have been coming here for years, man. I know they work the whole circuit. They go to Daytona, Laconia, they go out to Sturgis. They're everywhere. We used to, when I first started doing rallies, I remember it was just when the rallies were starting to pick back up. We had a booth over here by Harley, just a one little 8x8 booth. It was lame, but we had it over here next to Rick Rack, and so they've always been very hospitable to us and the Lovely Law Firm. Real cool guys.
Yeah, it's crazy how much they actually do as far as what they can do to the bike and stuff. And no matter almost what type of bike it is, how old the Harley is or how new it is or whatever. I mean, these guys have got to be the knowledge has got to just be insane.
Yeah, it's wild, man. And they're technicians. They're selling this stuff and they're installing it within minutes. I mean, they're knocking this stuff out, and they got bikes lined out waiting for the next technician to get it done. It's
crazy because it's as we're setting up and shutting down, they've been working. I don't know if they've stopped working. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, their business is booming, man.
Yeah,
it's on. So if people are wondering, hey, was the rally going to be down this year? No, it's pumped. And I think no vendors on the north end has really helped this location again for sure. Let's see here. They got refreshments out here, raising money for a raffle. We're still helping promote the raffle of the bike that we did with 701 Customs. We're going to be giving that away, or not we, but Veterans Welcome Home Resource Center is giving that away. Carolina Country Music Festival. So hopefully we'll be on stage with them to give that away and pick a lucky winner. If you bought tickets in the past, that's when that will be pulled.
I hope it's me.
It could be you, yeah. So, but you're still in it. If you go to their website, you can get more information. We've got some flyers with some information that we had done here. But Roe helped us really promote that last fall, and they're doing some good stuff up there, building tiny homes to try to help the veterans homeless problem, not only here in Myrtle Beach but all through Horry County, and really helping the vets out big time, man.
Yeah, it was such a cool bike build too. To kind of see it from what it was to what it ended up being was just amazing. With 701, and then they sent it out to have a special paint job by somebody as well.
I don't think I ever told you thank you because you picked the frame out for me, right?
No, I didn't. They did.
Who did?
They did.
I thought you helped me do that.
No, they did.
Okay, well, I'll give you the credit anyway. Roe helped us.
I mean, I'll take it, but I can't. I can't take all the credit because it was definitely one of those things to where they were kind of like, hey, this is what we have available.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool because it was it was a 92, you
know
what I mean, Sportster and stuff. And so, it's just what they did from where it came was just amazing, man.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
We've got some videos on our YouTube channel. If you subscribe and click our motorcycle event playlist, community event playlist as well, you'll see that bike build. We shot several videos from start to finish and what it finally ended up looking like. It's real cool, man.
Oh yeah, and then Chris, Biker Dad, he came to the booth last year, and he took it for a ride.
Yeah, he took it for a ride, and he found out that the speedometer didn't work. And then after that accident scene management class, I took it home. I took it for a ride and realized that the gas gauge didn't work, and it about went south.
Didn't you run out?
Yeah, I ran out at full speed, and that was not good. I was like, what is going on, man? But luckily I was in my neighborhood and only a mile from my house. My wife came and saved me. So, but no, we ran it back over there. Put some gas in it, ran it back over there. I think you did do that for me. You got the gasket. Or the
yeah. I did. Yeah. So I mean, I took it back and stuff because I was kind of trailering it here and there, and all these different shows and everything like that. Which to me, I loved to do. It was really cool to be a part of that whole thing. Just to even be a part of the bike itself, I was like, man, I look so cool on this thing. And it's perfect for me because I'm not a big guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For you're probably like, man, this thing seems.
Yeah, I could barely kick my legs up on it. Amy loves riding it, man.
That's what I'm saying.
That
for
thing
me,
everywhere.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
For me, it's perfect because it was like a small thing. And 701 is actually where I bought my bike from.
Yeah.
Because they actually sell bikes there too. They don't just work on them.
Yeah.
So I was actually able to buy my bike. He started kind of doing the whole rat thing too, and basically I kind of took it on my own and just kind of started. I continued the process.
Yeah.
So it was super cool.
Yeah, real cool, man. They fixed that little Sportster that I've got. They fixed that I mess around with. I got this old Cleveland Cycles little custom bike, and he came and fixed it. I had no idea what I did to it. I actually bought it from Rambler, which is a cool store here. Have you been to Rambler up in Myrtle Beach?
Down.
They closed down up in Myrtle Beach?
Yeah, they closed down.
No kidding?
Yeah, because I was literally right there, right by him and stuff like that because I wanted to go in because I'd never been in, but I saw it. But yeah, no, their doors were closed.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that bike was one of their displays, and he was just going to try to sell it, and Amy knew him and messaged him. I was like, what do you want for it? I'll just buy it. I'll buy it just to mess around with, So we bought it from him, and I gave it to 701 Customs. Like, get this thing road ready, man. Because basically he had bought it brand new and used it as a display.
Yeah.
And but it sat, so stuff had gummed up. He had to clean everything out, change the battery. That's wild. That's sad they closed, man. That was a cool little store.
I was really looking forward to it because there's not that many store besides you have the Harleys here and there and stuff like that, but there's not really that many, especially kind of shops like that around here. So really, Bike Week is kind of where you want to get all of your apparel, get all your stuff and everything. It's kind of during Bike Week just because of the fact that
everybody's here. Yeah,
everybody's here. Yeah, you can get it. You can get kind of everything.
So they've got a sister store like in Illinois or Indiana or something, because I think it's two brothers who own that.
It's
Rambler.
called the same thing. Rambler?
Yeah, I think it's called Rambler.
Oh, okay.
But they got a real cool store over there too, man. That's sad. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Tells you how much I get out. Right?
I mean, yeah, and like I said, I was looking forward to it because it was right next to where I was like doing an event, and I was like, dang. I really wanted to go in this store. Yeah. I finally made it out here because, when you're south and you have to go north, you're like, man, it's going to take me a day to get there when it doesn't. But, yeah.
Do you ever go to Redline? You ever check that place out?
Yeah.
That's a cool shop.
I liked it, man. It was pretty cool. Everybody there was super, super helpful. It was kind of, when I was first looking for bikes, like that was like, well, like you got to go to Redline. You know what I mean? To just kind of see, because they have a little bit of everything there. So I kind of checked them
when
out.
you bought that. I can't remember. Was that before or after the new owners bought Redline?
I don't know.
Because like the new owners, they put so many motorcycles.
How many?
Just I think over the last couple of years, right? Just coming out of COVID, I think some new ownership team.
So then it was after they had the new people. Then it was after they had the new ones. I mean that thing is filled to the brim with bikes.
They got so much cool stuff. They got bikes, boats, side by sides. They got all the toys, man.
All the stuff.
And go-karts, too.
Yeah. I mean, everything, dude. Like, they have the minis if you want your kids to have them and everything else, too. Like, they pretty much have you covered.
Yeah.
So
they were cool. That's where Michael Hull, who's a local fisherman, he also won our NAML giveaway last year. And he wanted a Husqvarna Supermoto. And so we took him to Redline because that's the local dealer. And he picked that out with a brand-new helmet and rode away with his brand-new motorcycle. And he signed up, not at Harley, but down at our other location at the Beaver Bar. And we called him. He thought it was a joke. And then we called him back. We're like, no, man, it's real. And he was like, I can't believe this, man. I've always wanted this motorcycle. And it was awesome, man. We shot some more video about that. I'm going to have him come. Chris Best with Biker Dad TV. He's supposed to be here shortly. But he's going to be down at the Beaver Bar. And I think he's going to interview Michael Hull again. But he's doing his second love from motorcycle. He's out fishing today, so he's a fishing charter captain. So he's living the dream. But he'll be there later tonight to talk at the Beaver Bar.
Can your stomach handle out on charter boats and stuff?
Oh, I love it, man.
Do you?
Yeah.
Man, I've never been.
You've never been?
No.
Dude, we got to go, man. It's kind of rough around here. To get to the Gulf Stream, you got to go like 2 hours out around here. And so if you're prone to getting seasick, it's going to happen. because you gotta just ride.
You got to
forever.
ride through it, yeah.
But it's awesome, man. I like going down. We got a cheap flight from Myrtle to Fort Lauderdale, so we'll fly down there and then go fishing either there or fish the Keys all the time. Because I mean, literally, you're in the air for 2 hours. You get in a rental car, and then you're at great water, the fishing capital of the United States. So.
Yeah.
Or if Myrtle's Inlet or Little River, I'll just mess around like in the inlets.
Yeah.
You can have fun doing that, man. Catching redfish and messing with the jetties. Have you ever done that?
Nope.
Man, I gotta take you fishing, man.
Man, I'll tell you, I just need time.
Yeah.
I have no free time. I got like
I'm
5
with you.
kids. No,
When I first moved down here, I actually sold our boat during COVID. So I used to have a boat, and all my friends, I like you, I was like, hey, let's go. We were going all the time, man. But then life happens. You start having kids, and your kids start doing sports. You get more busy with work, and you just can't do it. So we sold our boat. And now I just pay the charter guys, let them take me. I don't have to worry about cleaning it or paying for the gas.
That's it, man. Yeah, no kidding, right? Gas alone. My buddy has got a huge boat or whatever, and he shot a story. It was like $300, and it's still going up. I was like, oh.
Those tanks are huge, man. They never end, and you got to pay marine prices on the marinas for the gas. So it'll get you. It's an expensive habit, expensive hobby.
My expensive hobby is motorcycles, and I'll kind of stick with that one. You know what I mean? So that's the only one my wife will kind of allow me to kind of get away with here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
100%, man.
Because she has one too, so she can't really say much.
Yeah. What? Who's playing at Suck Bang and Blow tonight? Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm super. So Bone Thugs and Harmony played there last night, and I've been waiting to hear like people talk about it, and I haven't heard anything from anybody yet. And I've just been waiting to see like stories or like how it went or whatever, and I haven't heard anything yet. So I've been kind of like on edge trying to figure out how they did.
Did it rain out?
I don't think not last night. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Then they were having. I know that Cowboy Kid Rock guy was down there. Yeah. The Yellow Wolf guy was down there, or he may be this weekend. Who else? The usual suspects. Like Jackal coming down there, and then somebody else. I can't remember. But they have huge bands down there.
Yeah, the unfortunate part for me is that all that stuff happens at nighttime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With all my classes and kids and stuff like that, I don't ever get to make it out, unfortunately. So
yeah, you're about past my bedtime.
Everybody says that by the time that I get home and stuff, it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and everybody's like, "Man, I've been asleep for hours and stuff." I was like, "Man, sometimes I wish, but that's just not in the cards for me right now."
Well, the Beaver Bar had some cool daytime bands, and we're down there. Our booth down there, if anybody's wondering, we're right across from the bands. We're actually the yearly sponsor for the bands down there. Leslie lets us do that, so it's real cool. They got some good acts during the day, but they kind of shut down, 10, 11, 12. Well, it's Friday, so they'll be going a lot longer today, but they got some good bands. A lot of people will go there first, then they make their way to Suck Bang and Blow for the big show, and then they're gone. They get out of there.
Yeah, man, that's definitely the spot to be. Like if you're doing like the late night stuff, you know what I mean? It's Beaver Bar and SBB. It's just kind of, and they're real close to each other, so it makes it nice. You can almost just park and I know a lot of people just kind of walk down the street and stuff like that, but make sure you be safe. Because there's still a lot of traffic down there, even if you're walking back and forth. So. Oh,
100%, man. Well, usually the Highway Patrol, I mentioned this to Randy earlier this week, usually the Highway Patrol, hopefully Georgetown is down there directing traffic down there. They're usually directing traffic here at this dealership, but they haven't been doing that. So everybody's just barreling down here on 17 and then taking a hard right.
Yeah, I haven't really seen a whole lot. I think I saw like once or something like that as I was pulling out later. Yeah. You know what I mean? Later at the end of the day or something like that. But yeah, I haven't really seen a whole lot.
Yeah. We've got a puppy coming up to say hi to us here.
It's pretty big.
Let's do another live look here, and we'll show everybody kind of what's going on. It's still picking up. Still got steady stream of people coming in and out. I think a lot of people are probably either hitting the road or they're getting off of work a little early, and they're going to drive to the beach, see what's going on. Got some people signing up here for our bike giveaway. We got the lovely law firm promotional models here that come in and man our booths. Rose helping manage them today.
I don't know about that. I think they're managing me.
You.
Yeah, for sure. I just try to, harass people, I guess. No,
yeah.
I don't harass anybody.
Just say, hey, come sign up.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, 100%.
Well, the goal of this, is just to, hey, let's stay top of mind. Know that MyrtleBeachBikerLawyer.com is here. Lovely law firm's here if you ever need any issues. We do more than just motorcycle accidents. We do, you mentioned us helping the vets. We do some mass torts where a lot of veterans were exposed to the Camp Lejeune water chemicals. We're helping with PFAS and the firefighters on military bases. And those who are, they're riding motorcycles, they're getting older up in their years, and then they're realizing, something caused my cancer. And, we investigate those claims for the bikers and the veteran community. And we handle those claims too. But and really, bikers in general, they have issues, with just your insurance or something's going on with your life. And you need some advice, some legal advice, reach out to me, myself, or my wife, Amy, or Sarah. We'll talk to you, give you a free consultation, whatever it may be. And if I can't help you, I know who can, and we'll put you in the right spot for sure.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, because, we've heard people, we're like, man, we really wish that you guys were where we are, because everybody may get hurt in wherever their state is, be it Virginia or whatever else like that and stuff like that.
Well, that's a cool point too, because we're signing all these people up, and I'll reach back out to people when we're doing different events, and you're right, the majority of people are here on vacation from out of state, and they always have that question, maybe I get hurt down here, maybe it's not catastrophic, and then I go home. Should I hire a lawyer from my home state or here locally? Well, people need to realize that if you have to file the lawsuit, you're going to have to hire somebody where it happened, local. And so don't try to go to someone who's just going to try to settle your case. You need somebody who's going to litigate your case and be ready to go to court to make sure you got maximum full and fair compensation, everything that's available to you under the law, right? And someone who's not licensed in South Carolina is not going to be able to give you that advice, or not ethically give you that advice.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Ethically is the word for that one for sure.
And we arrange their treatment, their medical treatment too. A lot of times they'll come down here and they're only going to the emergency room maybe, and maybe they get initial, radiology down here, and then they got to go home, and they have all these questions, right? Well, I've got a network of lawyers that I know through NAML, the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers, that will plug me into their networks for any kind of medical treatment that they may need, if they got to go to a specialist or a neurologist or something like that. So we're dialed in to help the motorcycle community and the tourism motorcycle community. We know all the players. So.
It's pretty cool, because I know that you've been kind of having to zoom into a lot of these NAML things here recently, haven't you?
Yeah, man.
To do some guest speaking and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm actually
awesome.
I train lawyers all over America. I've been down to Las Vegas to speak. I've been in New Orleans to speak. I've done them by Zoom, like you mentioned, when I can't make it happen. I was in Boca Raton speaking a couple weeks ago. I've done them in Atlanta, and even some local firms. I've done one in Virginia. But yeah, it's fun, man. We've done one up in Milwaukee at the Iron Horse Hotel. We get together and we'll put on conferences, and we'll teach. Hey, how are you able to help your clients? How are you able to help your biker clients maximize their compensation, or make their case easier or faster for them, get their settlement, resolve their medical liens? How do you do it? And we've just developed the Lovely Law Firm method over the years, and I get asked by different organizations to consult and teach. And, coming out of COVID, actually it was right before COVID hit, we created the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers, and that was kind of like, hey, let's standardize this and get together and make sure that we're going to put something on the books to at least twice a year we get together and really, really say, hey, what's working and what's not. Because a lot of times learning what doesn't work is more valuable than trying to add incremental value with some other new tactic. So, yeah, man. So I did a presentation yesterday for a group of, I think it was 300 lawyers in New Orleans. So we've been all over the place.
And you zoomed in for that one? Is that the one?
Yeah, that one I did by Zoom because Amy's been sick. I was supposed to go down there, but Amy's been sick, so I couldn't leave her and leave the kids. And we had bike week here, so I just did it by Zoom. Like, it was kind of weird because I was talking to a computer screen. I couldn't get feedback from the crowd because I feed off of that, right? I talk with my hands, and I gotta make sure that you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Interaction with that,
yeah. And so it was kind of bizarre. I was talking to a camera with no sound of just me in a room, and then the announcer got on the mic at the end, and he was like, "Man, that was the best presentation of the last 3 days of Summit." So I was like, "Oh yeah, great." I always try to over deliver, under promise, over deliver.
Dude, that's crazy because and I was talking to our lovely sound guy Danny over here and stuff like that. I was like, man, Justin's so animated when he talks. It's like he really kind of pulls you in anytime that he talks. So being on the mic and stuff like that, and so it's always good because Rainey can kind of feed off of that with you guys. So I know you guys just kind of chum it up and just have a really good conversation and stuff like that. So look who it is, my man.
Who's your daddy?
Let's go ahead and get him on here.
Yeah, well, Ro, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Give me the sign off there. There we go.
Come see us over here. Always appreciate you.
Yeah, man. So we've got Chris, Biker Dad. He's exhausted because he drove to the Myrtle Beach rally from New Orleans, where I presented by Zoom. And unfortunately, he had to be there in person. But he got in the car and just started going, right?
Yeah, I didn't have time to ride, and I waited too long to book my flight. It was ridiculous, so I was like, no, I took the top off the Jeep.
You're doing it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
The miserable way. Drive all night.
Yeah. Riding in a Jeep with the top down is still pretty cool for 9 hours.
Yeah.
It's not a motorcycle, but it's the next best thing.
Yeah. So how was it down there?
Oh, it was awesome. The weather was a lot like this. You know, New Orleans is hot as HE double hockey sticks even in like January, but it was really nice and felt about exactly like this, and the weather here is fantastic.
Oh, it was awesome, man. Like 2 days ago, it was burning hot, and then we had a rain out, but now it's kind of cool. Rain's supposed to hold off until later tonight, so it's been a great crowd. You don't know this yet, but they on the north end, there's no more vendors. They didn't let the vendors set up, so they all kind of had to, but they all came, and they had to kind of cram in here at Myrtle Beach Harley or down the south end at the Beaver Bar in Suck, Bang, and Blow. And so it's actually kind of more cool because everybody's more centralized this year.
It is. Everybody's packed in a little bit. In fact, I walked past your tent once. So, like when you come in, if you're on the, north side of the building, come all the way to the back corner and then hook a left. You see the biker bar thing there on the right. That's where you want to turn left, and you're right there. By the way, that biker bar thing is pretty cool. I've got a couple of those.
Oh, yeah. It's real cool here, man. So tell us about, so you were down there, I was kind of talking about NAML earlier, and I've talked about NAML this week, and you work with us with NAML to help get the word out. Of course, you've got your Biker Dad TV show that airs here locally on Fox on the weekends. Kind of tell us what you were doing down there, and just give us an overview about NAML, and I'll jump in and kind of.
Yeah, so NAML is National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. I'm sure you mentioned that already, but it is unlike some other large national marketing firms, which is basically what they are, including one I won't name, who's in the same parking lot right now.
Whose name we will not mention.
Yeah, we won't say their name. Actually, a good friend of mine is over there working in their booth. I'll go say hi, but that's about it. Anyway, what I like about NAML as a biker is that we do things like we were doing in New Orleans, which is trying to make the roads actually safer, like spending time and money and effort, treasure and time to make our roads safer, because that's what I do. I rode a motorcycle close to 100,000 miles last year, and if you don't care that I'm hurt, then I don't want to work with you. I know Justin and I have become really good friends, and a lot of the other NAML attorneys too. And the big deal is, the reason for that is because I know they care about whether I'm hurt. Sure, Justin writes me a check every month. Thank you. But I also know that he gives a crap about me, is a subtle way to put it.
It's an all-ages show. You can let it rip. It's bike.
So he gives a shit about me. But the thing is what we do a couple times a year, as you know. Well, first of all, we meet every week on Zoom and talk about the things that bikers are facing and how y'all can help them, how you can help me. And then we have a couple conferences each year. We're going to do Los Angeles this year. We do Las Vegas every year. But what we were doing in New Orleans, it really is actually trying to build the membership of NAML. And we ran into some really great attorneys who really, really want to get involved with the biker stuff, not just because, let's be honest, it is a good business to be in. But again, we signed a new member in Seattle. Her dad rides. One of the big reasons she wants to be a member is because her dad rides, and she wants to make the roads where her dad lives a safer place.
Who's that in Seattle?
Her name is Janelle. She's with Washington Law.
Oh, Janelle that spoke at the conference?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Seems like she's growing pretty fast.
Yeah, her last name escapes me. Yeah, she has an extremely successful firm, so she doesn't need to go make a bunch of money on motorcycle cases. I could tell by talking to her that she wants to make the roads safer, and that's what it's all about for me. And if I can help you guys with your business in any way, obviously I'm going to do that as well. But I think that the first and foremost, it's always been about you guys see the horror and have to deal with the aftermath, and you care and you want to make it better, and that's awesome. And the roads are insane in Myrtle Beach right now. I've been here, as you know, in the cold and the rain when there's nobody here, and there's plenty of room, but not right now. And
we're the fastest growing DMA in America right now.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it's Myrtle Beach. And then when you couple that with being a tourist destination and Bike Week and the Blue Crab Festival that's going on this weekend, it's just a recipe for disaster.
All the new people who live here now but still don't know where they're going.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Never seen this craziness before, which is fantastic, and I hope they embrace it and realize how great it is for Myrtle Beach. And I can believe that it's the fastest growing DMA. I think the first time you were the second lawyer to sign on with me, and I think it was like 2 weeks after I started my business, the first time I came here, and that was like 3 years ago, and I've seen the change on the beach and the Strand. Somebody's buying up the old shitty hotels and making them nice, and really upgrading what's going on in Myrtle Beach and making it more upscale, which I already love the town, but let's face it, I've never been to a place where there's beachfront property that's priceless and there's a shithole motel on it for $89 a night.
Yeah, they're trying to clean that up for sure, man.
Yeah, and I've noticed it already. I've stayed in some of the places I stayed accidentally the first time I came here, and now they're much better, and it's just and it's a cool place anyway.
So Myrtle Beach is investing a lot of money in the downtown redevelopments. Our old office was on Oak Street, still own the building, but they're redeveloping all that. They got the Grand Strand breweries open there. They've fixed the roads down there. They're about to, in partnership with Coastal Carolina, they're going to build a new theater down there to have some performing arts. So they're calling it the Arts and Innovation District, and they're going to make it walkable, right? So it's going to be real cool when it's done, man. So we're pumped.
Yeah, that would be a huge deal because it's not extremely walkable. There are some really cool places. The name is on the tip of my tongue. What's the place where Alabama got their start? The bar.
Oh, the Bowery. Yeah,
Bowery,
100%. Yeah, if you come down here, you got to check out the Bowery for sure if you're coming to Bike Week.
Go to the Bowery, see some live music, and then walk down the block and check out the Gay Dolphin. You wonder what that is? Google it. I have video out there.
We check that out. That's a cool place, man. My kids love going there to get all. They buy all kinds of little trinkets and stuff and souvenirs. That place has been there like 100 years, man.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
Of all of the things that I have shot, there are probably 300 videos I've done.
Is that your viral video?
The most watched in Myrtle Beach by far was about the Gay Dolphin. It's not what you think it is, but it's extremely cool, and it is like 100 years old. And
yeah.
It's been in the same place forever. It's awesome. Downtown Myrtle Beach is really, really fun.
So you've been to all these. You've been to Daytona. Have you been to Laconia? Have you ever done that one?
I've not been to Laconia. I've
done Sturgis though, right?
Sturgis.
Yeah.
Myrtle Beach is the spring rally is a lot more at least regional or national than the fall rally. The fall rally, I would suggest you come to if you want to like have less traffic and a little more sane and still see all the cool stuff because it's more of a local thing. Also awesome, but it's all the same things, just less of a crowd.
What kind of tips would you give somebody who's on the fence, never been to a rally before, and they're like, let's go check out the Myrtle Beach Bike Week the last weekend? What would you tell them?
Well, a couple things I would say is don't let the haters who tell you not to trailer somewhere scare you away from doing that and think you're a poser because you put a bike on a trailer. If you're going to come here from Chicago and you can't get here without taking a month off of work, put your bike on a trailer, fly and rent a bike. Who cares? Those people, the real bikers, aren't going to mess with you about it. The people who say you're not a real biker because you throw your bike on a trailer once in a while are the real posers. I've trailered here just to do videos about trailering here.
Yeah.
So screw you if you don't like it. I don't care.
Hey, let me jump in. One tip about that, though, plan in advance, man, because people are calling me all the time. They're emailing me, Justin, where can I park this trailer?
Yeah, I did that.
And I'm like, yeah, you did. Everybody's done it. And the place of last resort, you can park at the lovely law firm parking lot, but plan in advance, man, because that fills up fast because people, they'll come to these hotels and realize that there's no place to put it. Yep. You end up having to put your damn trailer, 5 miles away, and then, drop your bike. But
yeah, read the fine print because the condos and stuff will say no trailers, and you don't realize that people get here. But a little hack for that is that Walmart doesn't mind if you put your trailer in the parking lot. I've, what's the name of the local grocery chain here?
Lowe's Foods?
Yeah, I've left a trailer there for a whole week. Nobody raised any stink about it. So you can find places. I mean, if you don't mind unloading your bike and, putting the stuff on your bike and going back and forth to get your stuff off the trailer, just leave your trailer there and pull your car back and forth.
Let me show you some footage, and I'll ask you some more questions. We got some footage we shot earlier, just so you can kind of get. I know you're just now getting. To the side of the road, but that's what happens, man. If you know, a lot of times this is the first time you're getting it out of the garage. You know, some people don't ride all year. But if you're getting it out and you're going to get on the roads, be safe for sure.
Yeah, if you know the basics and have a little set of tools, that helps. And, some specific information for Myrtle Beach as well. The weather here can be, like, volatile, so you never know. I mean, it seems like this week's weather is going to be pretty much perfect. But like Justin was saying, you might have basically hurricane type of weather one day. I've been here and got
during a
caught
hurricane.
in the rain. Yeah, we've been here during a hurricane during the fall rally in 2022. That was actually a blast. We all sat out on the deck and watched the hurricane come in. And there was some damage, but not a ton, so we did have a lot of fun. But one thing that's happened to me here before is I was in a day like this where it's relatively hot, but it was raining all day. I got just soaked to the bone, and the next morning I had to get up and get somewhere quick, and it was like 31 degrees, and I just froze to death. I'm like, I'm at the beach. Yeah. It's not supposed to be like this. I have been in Kansas City, Missouri in negative 10 degrees, and I did not feel that cold because it was wet, humid,
miserable,
and 31 degrees. So you get, just be prepared. Make sure you have that stuff, and just once you get here, you can figure out whether you need to stuff your jacket in your tour pack, or you can leave it where it stands, so you have room to buy stuff and put it there. And then ride your own ride is always my other advice. There's a lot of craziness around here. I have buddies who like to ride like maniacs. I've brought them here before. They're on their souped up 131 baggers, and I'm on my soft tail with an 88 in it, and I'm just like, I got GPS, I'll catch up with you.
Yeah.
I'm not here to get in a wreck. Keep your eyes open all the time. We always say that, but I've seen some crazy shit happen out of nowhere here. Right here on Kings Highway, like just at the stop sign, just south of Harley Davidson, where we are 2 years ago. My buddies and I are at the stoplight, and all of a sudden, all we hear is squealing brakes. Look in my rearview mirror, and there's 3 bikes in a pile sliding right towards me. One guy's wearing shorts and no shirt and no helmet, and he, I hate to say this, but he was drunk as hell. It probably kept him from getting that hurt. Yeah. But you got to look out for the cars, but you got to look out for the other bikes too, because not everybody here is doing things the right way, and not everybody here is smart.
Yeah, you got to stay in the defensive position 100% of the time down here for sure.
To the point where don't stop and having fun, but just keep your head on straight.
And and a lot of people are in that situation that you're mentioning. You're coming down here with a group, your friends want to do something. The only one more thing I would add, just make sure y'all know where each other's going, right? Don't go off by yourself without telling somebody. I realize you do have GPS, but if you're not sharing locations, bad things can happen if you're riding alone. Stay in a group as best you possibly can.
Yeah, I can understand you probably got a sketchy friend who probably doesn't want me to know where he is all the time, but he can give you a general idea.
Yeah, he's going to those kind of places around here.
A couple other things too. I learned an extremely hard lesson in Florida and Daytona, and I'm sure there are little quirks here too that you got to know about. But I just got a bike back that had been a year-long project with a group in Pelican. And the mirrors didn't fit, and one of them flew off on the road, and the other one was spinning in the wind. And I took it off because I was afraid it was going to fly off. Well, Daytona has this bullshit law where you have to have a mirror on your motorcycle, and they don't care if you have a mirror; they just want a reason to flag you down. Yeah. So, like I said, I just got the bike. I tried to register it in Alabama, and they said it had to be present to do that. But don't worry, you can ride it wherever you want for 20 days. Well, it was within 20 days, but I got waved over in front of one of the Iron Horse there in Daytona. It was a police tribute bike. I thought the cops wanted to look at it. No, they were like, "Where's your mirror?" And then they're like, "Where's your proof of insurance? And where is your registration?" I said, "Well, it's not registered yet. My phone died. My insurance is on that." And then this particular bike has the VIN hidden under the tank, and they wanted to see the VIN to prove that it wasn't stolen, and I couldn't do that without taking the bike apart. They threatened to arrest me. They threatened to impound the bike, and I was like, "Look, dude, you're a cop, but you're on a police bike. I know you ride. You don't want to do this shit. Your bosses are making you do this shit. That's way too far." So I had to sit there for 2 hours while they dug into my stuff. So a bigger point is, know the local laws if you can. Some people in places like, and you can explain the helmet law here better, but in some places you think there's no helmet law, and there is. There are a lot of rules that go along with the places where you can have a choice to ride a helmet. You have to have a certain amount of insurance. you have to be a certain age a lot of times.
Yeah.
In most states, you have to be 21 to ride without a helmet.
Yeah, under 21. Yeah, under 21, you got to have a helmet in South
And
Carolina.
you have to have medical insurance. And people riding around thinking, well, you know, a cop, if he wants to be an asshole, can ask you for proof of your medical insurance. If you don't have it, you get a ticket. And you don't have a helmet, you don't have medical insurance, they say you can't ride your bike. It's staying right here.
Yeah.
It could happen to you. So just know those little things. And also there's some changes in the laws that, like, even if you're not wearing a helmet and it's legal and you get in an accident, it could be your fault. Like partially. I don't think that's the case here.
No, they're not going to use it as fault, but they'll definitely use it to try to mitigate, what they deem would be their apportionment of damages. Try to use that against you. So, and that's why you need a lawyer to file your motions if it gets to that point. We'll file motions in limine to keep that kind of evidence out. Because we don't want that. That'll mess your case up for sure. Because biker prejudice is a real thing. Especially some people don't like motorcycles. So if they're on the jury. And they don't like you, and they hear that, that's a reason for them to mess up your recovery. So,
yeah, the jury bias is a huge thing. I've even heard testimony from somebody who has had a family member die in a motorcycle accident, and now they hate all bikers because the motorcycle killed their dad. It's insane, but you have to fight against that.
Well, yeah. I mean, you gotta have an attorney who knows how to kind of sort those people out or craft your argument to counter those thoughts, those inherent thoughts, right? Get down to the real, what's causing those feelings, right?
Yeah.
It's not that they hate motorcycles, it's that their dad died, right? So we've got to shape our questions, shape the theme of our case, whatever it is, so we're not running into that problem. But that's a real issue, man. It's a struggle. We go through that a lot.
That's one of the things, obviously, that we talk a lot with NAML about. Those are one of the issues that we tackle and try to figure out how to help bikers, because in the end, that's what all that stuff. Even if you do get in an accident, it does make life better for those people who were hurt, and also may make the insurance company think twice the next time they try to screw somebody who deserves to get help.
It's also, going back to NAML, it's a cool network. You mentioned getting pulled over by the cops in Daytona. Well, you could call Mo DeWitt or Jason Melton. They're Florida lawyers that are part of our network, and they can help you out, give you some advice.
That's exactly what I did. Yeah. Jason Melton, I need your help.
Yeah.
He's helping me with it. So.
Exactly. So he'll take care of it. Make it go away. And people call me and they have out of state issues. Well, we've got a whole network of guys that we've been working with, and we'll refer it out and make sure that our clients, when they call us, they're in good hands. So that's an awesome benefit. We made some great connections over the years with that.
Yeah, and that's another decent tip for some of the places like here. Justin's got this tent here at Myrtle Beach Harley, and yeah, they're handing out cool stuff. But take the stuff that has his phone number and everything on it, and put it in your bike. Grab one of my cards and put it in your bike. If you have trouble here, you know who to call right away. You don't have to sit on the side of the road and Google who do I help. And Justin is by far the top, I think this is the case, top biker lawyer in Myrtle Beach for sure, and probably South Carolina and a lot of the Southeast. It's because this is what he does. You do other stuff too, but this is what his big concentration is. And, if you are in a place where it's not Myrtle Beach or wherever you don't know who to call, you can always call me, and I'll hook you up with the right attorney. If we don't have an NAML member there, then Justin or Jason Melton or Chris Klotz or Noel Leonard or somebody's going to know who the person is that we need to contact in your area, whether it's Myrtle Beach or Sturgis or whatever. Like I said, we just hired our first attorney. We just brought on our first member from Seattle. So we go from Seattle to Miami, from New York to Las Vegas. The guy you covered.
Man.
We'll be in Los Angeles in the fall, so hopefully we'll find somebody up there.
Tell us about that. I got a bug flying on my head here. We're going to L.A. or Huntington. Where are we going? We're doing a BMW challenge course, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, there's this giant BMW adventure course out there outside of L.A. It's got to be pretty expensive real estate, I would imagine. But this guy's one of the top experts on BMW motorcycles, and specifically the adventure bikes, which are pretty close to a dual sport, on-road, off-road. And he concentrates on teaching people how to go from the pavement to the dirt. And so we're going to be, those of us who ride are going to go and take that course. And I do some dual sport riding, so there's.
And we get a ride for like a whole day, right, or half a day? What is it?
Yeah, I think a whole day out in the dirt in the desert outside of LA, and that's going to be awesome. I know riding in the city of LA probably sucks ass, but the weather there is always amazing, so it's going to be fun. And that's just one of the things that we do too. Is we sit in our meetings and talk about the things that make people safe and everything. But if you're an attorney and you haven't really been exposed to riding, it's that's one of the other things that we do, whether you want to become a big-time, full-time rider or not, is get your hands on a motorcycle, get close to one, see it, know what the parts are, know when I say what the friction zone is, or it has a rear brake and a front brake. I mean, there are attorneys who don't even know that.
Yeah, they have no idea.
They don't know what a throttle is. There's not an AML attorney who doesn't know that, because if they join us, they learn those things.
And historically, we've gone to a lot of Harley Davidson events, and what we're trying to do is, we've all kind of known this. I grew up with a dirt bike. I'm going to love this trip, by the way. But there's a whole segment, that adventure bike segment is massive, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so this is what we're trying to do, is this continual learning, right? Because we're going to have lawsuits like that. We're going to have clients in our local area that have issues. They're going to need this kind of training, and so this stuff will set us apart, because we're going to go to the number one guy in America to his own course, and we're all going to be certified when we leave there. It's going to be awesome.
And you're going to know what a biker experiences when he's riding one of those things. Most of the accidents that you guys handle right now are on the pavement on a highway, but there's no saying that somebody on one of those might get hurt on a dirt road, get T-boned out in the country by some guy in his truck who's drinking and thinks it's okay to drink out in the country, or any of those things. Plus, again, it doesn't really familiarize you with a motorcycle. Justin's ridden all his life, but not all of our members ride. And if you're a lawyer watching this and you're like, oh, that sounds interesting, but I don't ride, you don't have to ride. All we care is you give a shit about riders. I mean, if you join our team, you will, because you understand all of the things that bikers do to here, making Myrtle Beach a ton of money, but also we're doing charity events while we're here. We both met Leslie Beaver down at the Beaver Bar. I don't know how much money that woman's worth, but she gives a whole bunch of it away.
She does a lot of great work for the community.
And it's the people here buying beers that let her do that. And people, when you realize that the bikers are making that kind of impact on the community in a positive way, then you're like, oh wow, these are people that I want to help with. Tom Schimmerling in New York, never been on a motorcycle, although he has his learner's permit and he's learning now. Just like you're not the exact opposite of what you think a biker would be. But once he found out that what was going on at these events, it's like it's cracked now. You can't keep him away from it. And that's the kind of affection that our attorneys get for the bikers and really care about them. It gets cold up there, and he goes through withdrawals in the winter because he's not out there with all the motorcycles. And hopefully this year he'll be riding his own too.
I've told all these guys who are in these states that were, a lot of snow's on the ground, they need to start doing snowmobile cases.
Yeah.
People neglect that in our group. I keep telling them that. We had Amy and I went and rode, shot some video on our YouTube channel if anybody wants to go see it, but we went and rode out in Jackson Hole, man. It was hilarious, man. We got on, who's the snowboarder? Who's, he's got red hair? He's the X Games. Sean White? Is it
Sean White.
Sean White. We went to his ranch. Oh. He turns his ranch into the winter into a snowmobile park.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we went and tore it up, man. It was awesome.
Was he out there? Did you see his bright red hair?
Nah, he wasn't out there. He's got a whole team. I mean, he's going cool. Just taking guides and just constant all day long making money, man.
That's awesome. He's a really cool guy. I'd like to think he's not a biker, but same spirit. I would say.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
So, but we keep going. I kind of introduced you, but if we have any first-time listeners or watchers who don't know you, tell your story, man, because you had a background in TV. Yeah. You just said, I'm done with this. I'm just going to start riding motorcycles. Tell us the story of Biker Dad.
Yeah, so I went to the University of Missouri School of Journalism, the #1 journalism school in the world, the first one ever, and set out to go out and make the world a better place as a journalist. And I did that for 25 years as a television news executive, and during COVID, which is also the same year as a presidential election and all of that stuff, extremely stressful time, lots going on, but also probably the most important time of my career. But what I realized is that the corporate people who owned the stations that I worked for really did not give a fuck about any of that, or me, or anybody else. And no offense to the TV stations that air my TV shows, because some of them are the companies I used to work for. But during COVID, I was the news director, and if you don't know what a news director is, he runs the entire news department, which in most stations is about 90% of the staff. So I had 100 people who reported directly to me, and everybody else is pretty much at home doing the work from home. My journalists are out risking COVID during protests and all this other stuff, and I'm out at my friend's restaurant giving hand sanitizer and toilet paper out of the back door for my staff, being the one who sends flowers when their grandpa dies of COVID. All this stuff is taking care of them. And meanwhile, my boss is at home drinking scotch and smoking cigars in the basement. I don't hear from him for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And then I go and then it's time for my review, and we've all done those stupid corporate reviews. Justin makes his employees do them. But
No, I'll make Shelly do them. I don't do them anymore.
I gave myself 5 stars for dependability. I was like, look, I worked an extra 80 days so far this year, and it's like June. Those are 20-hour days, by the way. Doing all this stuff to help my employees, and so I give myself five stars on that. You can say whatever else you want about me, you can't say that. I was kind of a hard-ass boss and became more of a servant boss during that time. My boss looks at me and seriously goes, "Who gives a fuck?" We all did that. This is the guy who's smoking cigars and drinking scotch in his basement. Meantime, what I forgot to say is that about 10 years ago, I started a motorcycle blog called Biker Dad. Started it in Memphis because I saw all this stuff going on and nobody was covering it. I was the boss, so I was like, put this on the news. And in a month, I had 100,000 followers on social media because nobody else was doing that. And in Memphis, I thought about doing this as a business and quitting, but I got this job in Alabama that I thought was too good to pass up. A lot of money. I was like, okay, I'll go do it. So I chilled out on the Biker Dad stuff for a couple years, and then when I got acclimated, I did it again. My station sold over 6-figure sponsorship to that company that shall not be named on my name, on my laurels, which covered a large portion of my salary. Like, it didn't go to my salary, but I'm paying for myself.
Yeah.
And he still does that shit. Who fucking cares? You're doing all this work. So I put the review on his desk, looked at him, and said, "Fuck you," and walked off. They lost their sponsorship with that company that shall not be named. That same company promised to help me out, and when it came time to cut the nuts, they ghosted me. And luckily, I was already great friends with Chris Klotz, another founding member of NAML. I was like, I'm taking this, I'm gonna go do something with it. I don't know what. And I had this idea about starting a TV show. That's what I've been doing for 25 years. Just do what I've been doing. And I told Chris that, and he wrote me a check and said, "I'm your first sponsor, and come to Orlando to our NAML conference." That was maybe a month later. And then that's when Justin and 5 other attorneys also wrote me checks, and I've been doing this ever since. And people are like, "You do that for a living? How do you do it?" Well, it's not from YouTube views. It's not from hawking that other company that shall not be named. It's because I have 8 or 10 of these NAML members who believe in what I'm doing and have been supporting me since day one. And Justin was day 2, so I really appreciate that. And that's why, besides Pensacola, it's been on here. My television show has been on the air here in Myrtle Beach longer than anywhere else. I believe it's 9:30 on Saturday mornings. It might be 9 o'clock. So get up tomorrow and watch it on WFXB, because this week's show is all about Myrtle Beach Bike Week. I've been here, like I said, 6 times, I think. So I took some of my favorite stories from the last 2 years and put them together and freshen it up with some new stuff. Let everybody know that we're out here. And people who don't even ride tell me they think it's a really good show. And I'm just a monkey on a motorcycle shooting it with my cell phone, because I can't put a camera crew on the back seat of my motorcycle, and I wouldn't want to do that anyway. I think the guerrilla warfare part of it is awesome. There are guys who make really cool content that's big budget and cool, and I know you work with Nick. His last name escapes me, but
Vieser.
Nick Vieser does these awesome documentaries for Justin, and I've used them in the show. And I talked to him in New Orleans when we were out there with NAML too about, like, let's find a way for us to take that content and my content and pipeline it together and really, like, get the word out about the biker community and what happens when people don't pay attention to us and run us over. He showed me the first couple minutes of your latest one, and it was like, oh wow, and insane. We've used the one that he made with his name escapes me, the Back on Two story with your client who lost his leg, and you guys really helped him
Ruben.
Yeah, Ruben. That's been on the show.
He'll stop by here. He's always comes and sees me.
I run that story once or twice a year because it's a fantastic story. I mean, it's a terrible story, but it's a fantastic story about how he's back on his feet and how you guys helped him do that. And Nick's making insanely good content, and we're sharing that back and forth to get the word out there however we can. And that's another cool thing about working with you is you're like, when something is, Justin not only invests in the biker community, invests in the people who, like, behind the scenes really supporting it that you may not even know. You guys see me on TV every week, but you don't see Nick on TV making these incredible, basically mini movies that could win awards, I would think, that are really exposing what happens to somebody when a careless driver hurts them. And that stuff puts pressure on the insurance companies and the other lawyers to go, holy shit, that guy is really messed up, and if we don't do something to help him out, we're gonna pay the piper in the end.
Yeah, well, we owe as their lawyers, we owe a duty to our clients to present them in the best possible case we can. And if we just send in a file or just send in a demand, you have an insurance adjuster or a defense attorney, they have no idea who this person is, what he likes to do, how this has affected his mom, his dad, his spouse, his kids. And so how can you do that? You got to use the power of video to portray that. So these day in the life videos are very, very powerful. And so, any kind of case that warrants that, we get the video crew out. Locally, shout out if you need local media production here. Real Events Media, Danny Lips, call him. Real Events Media and Production. They're awesome here, and they're producing this show right now.
And I've used a lot of his
live from Myrtle Beach.
I've used a lot of his stuff, and we'll clip stuff out of this for it as well. Honestly, it looks way better and sounds better than anything I do. But he's got all this cool equipment that he can lug around, and I can't do that. But I use this stuff every week in my show. Like in Vegas, we did all those interviews with all the other NAML attorneys. Those interviews are playing. Their interviews are playing in their markets too, and he's been a huge help with that. Just like giving me the video and letting me use it. So that's awesome. And one thing that really didn't hit me until about the end of riding season last year, early September. I was up in New York with Tom Schimmerling, the other founding member of NAML, and I was talking to this guy, and he'd been following me for years, but he didn't know even though 31% of people who watch TV on Sunday mornings in Binghamton, New York watch my TV show. And he rides a bike, and he wasn't watching it. And he said, I was talking to my grandma, and my grandma said, have you seen this show on WBNG, something about a motorbike father? And he was like, biker dad? And she goes, yeah. He goes, I had no idea your show was on here. And he started watching it every week with his grandma. But my point in that is that what we do, what Real Events does, what Nick does, and what I do, we're also affecting that jury bias that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. That never really dawned on me until he said that, because his grandma is watching this show every week, not just him. So there's people in your area here in Myrtle Beach are watching this show, and they might be whatever, other attorneys, or they work at Walmart. They could be on the jury and be like, oh, I watched that show. I've seen Justin talk about everything these bikers do, and now we've had an impact on it. And I know it does really well here too, because we've had people ride for, like I say, I'm going to see Justin have people ride here 2 hours away to come and see us. So.
And I think as lawyers, and I feel this way, and I think every NAML member will feel this way, we have a duty to educate the public, man, because if we're not educating the public is getting brainwashed by these multi-billion-dollar insurance companies who are making record profits, paying record bonuses to their CEOs, and all that they're doing, the way that they're doing that is by denying, delaying, and devaluing your claim. Not just motorcycle claims, car wrecks, everything. That's why.
Roof.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, people. And so what you're absolutely right. We have to turn the tide in a little way. We don't have $1 billion advertising budgets, but in little ways to shine a light on how we help the client, how we change their life, and what the value of hiring a personal injury lawyer created for that person on that particular case is awesome. So, Danny does an awesome job for me. Nick's done a great job for me. You do an awesome job for me. And if we put it all together, hopefully we can make a difference.
Yeah, and if you don't think that insurance money that they're putting on TV and elsewhere matters, here's just an example, and Justin and I have talked about this before. In Florida, Ron DeSantis was running for governor, and I know there are probably a lot of people on here like Ron DeSantis, but you might not after what I'm about to say, because I don't anymore. He needed the money to run for president, right? So what does he do? He takes a massive check from the insurance company and then works with the state legislature to pass tort reform. And that's a blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's a bunch of legal shit. But for a biker, and there's all kinds of other stuff that this impacted too, for a biker in Florida, it's now harder for you to prove that it's somebody else's fault, and you can be held partly to blame for things that are completely legal and you weren't doing wrong.
It was totally ridiculous. Everybody here's another collateral consequence of that. because that law had a start date that was maybe 30, 45 days into the future. Every lawyer that was doing personal injury claims had to put their cases into the court system, file lawsuits. They were filing thousands of lawsuits overnight. They had to get these things filed to help preserve the rights of their current clients. And what's happened now for clients moving forward, so if you get in a wreck today and you need to try to get full justice in Florida, we're talking about Florida now, not South Carolina, but it's coming to South Carolina, so that's why I'm active, trying to always help make sure any action like this, we're active with the SCAJ, and we try to get this thing stopped, nip it in the bud. But you're never going to get your day in court because now the courts are clogged up. Yep. You're talking years to even get motions to have your court case heard.
So now not only are you going to get less money, you're going to wait longer for it.
But you can't wait. So they're going to dangle the carrot in front of you. I mean, how do you tell somebody who's got their leg amputated to wait? Yeah. They can't. They're worried about their family. They think they're going to die. They're just going to be forced to take whatever they can get. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. If it's between being homeless now and maybe getting more money in 3 years from now, absolutely. And just one of the examples that's happening in Florida is, so like I was talking about helmet laws earlier, there is a helmet law in Florida, just like there is in South Carolina. It's called the freedom of choice law, it's not that there is no helmet law. The freedom of choice law is that you have to have a certain amount of health insurance coverage in case you get hurt, so the state doesn't get stuck with your medical bills, and it's not enough. And the other thing is you have to be over 21, as we said. But so say you're sitting at Daytona Beach at a stop sign. You don't have a helmet on because you think there's no helmet law in Florida, and you're from Minnesota and you don't know this shit. You're at a red light and somebody plows over you. That accident is now partially your fault. Your injuries are partially to blame because the tort reform law, which they sell as, oh, these greedy lawyers are going after the insurance companies, was really greedy insurance companies and politicians who are going after you.
The consumer.
Because the the plaintiff's attorneys, that's the technical word for what Justin does, help the people.
Right.
The defense attorneys for the insurance companies aren't there to help the people. They're there to help
corporations.
Help the corporations.
It's ridiculous.
And honestly, the good and bad for both of us is that those defense attorneys don't, because I'm going through a car accident case right now. I was badly hurt in a car accident a year ago. They really don't give a shit because they're just paid a flat salary and they come in and there's blah, whatever. But the rest of it is just a machine there their whole job is to delay it. It's not really to prove. When I went through my deposition, that they didn't really seem like they cared about proving what I said was right or wrong. It's just like, let's have another deposition so we can make it last longer. I fortunately am in a position where I can still work and I'm not going broke. I just am pissed off because I'm going to be hurt for the rest of my life, and I deserve something for that. But the other people, like you say, you lose a leg and you are a laborer, you can't work anymore, you're screwed.
Yeah.
But they're just, and so just be more familiar with the laws of where you are and know that some people get turned off by seeing and I don't think you do this necessarily, maybe you do, but some people get a little turned off when they see a billboard that says, I got this client $3 million, and you're just like, oh, greedy lawyers.
Yeah, we don't do that.
But at the same time, that lawyer, if that is true, really did help that person, Yeah. Hopefully they did get somebody $3 million, and it helped them get through the rest of their life without a leg. I think a leg is worth more than $3 million.
Yeah.
So don't let that kind of advertising also turn you off to the good guys like Justin is another thing that I would just say about all of that. And there are just cringy things out there, and that are a sign that maybe it's not the right person you should hire.
Yeah. And just getting closer to home, we're talking about Florida, but North Carolina, which, people are riding there right now. If you're going to Charlotte Harley Davidson, the laws change, just 30 miles up the road. They have contributory negligence. So if you're 1% at fault in North Carolina, or if they even just think you're 1% at fault and they want to try to hang their hat on that, you get nothing.
That's insane.
How crazy is that? So you had when they changed that law, a lot of the plaintiffs' lawyers, they just, you got rid of most of the cases, so they all went to workers' comp plaintiffs' work. So it's, unless you have the perfect case or like it's a clear liability, like a rear ender, you can't really help anybody. It's because you get nothing.
And there's no reason for the attorneys in North Carolina now to stand up and fight for you monetarily. There are going to be people who ride and care about you up there and everything. And it'd be, but
you can't afford to pay them by the hour because they're gonna delay it, and the average working man can't do that, right?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Because like Justin doesn't take money from you until he gets money for you. They have to now charge you in advance. Yeah,
to pursue those cases. And so it just closes the door to the working man for the courtroom. I mean, you can't do that. The average guy can't do that. You mentioned this too, when you fall, I mean, most people are living paycheck to paycheck. And I mean, they're gonna exploit that, man. That's what these insurance companies do. I mean, we could talk about a whole nother hour about that shit. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And, and it is in everything. My house was hit by a tornado in January, and I'm still fighting with State Farm over it. We just finally told the roofer to patch it out as well as he could because we're coming up on hurricane season. But they said my house was hit by a tornado, a fucking tornado hit my house, and they said the damage to my house is $3,000. I'm like, come and find somebody to put 4 shingles on your roof for $3,000 right now.
Right.
And I've talked to Jason Melton, another enamel attorney, referred me to a guy who does what you guys do, but for roofs.
Yeah.
And he's like, his whole thing is fighting for justice for people who State Farm is fucking over, and that's his number one nemesis. And they do it with car accidents too. They do it with motorcycle accidents. It's crazy. And so I have State Farm for my house because I had it for my cars, and it was bundled together. As I mentioned earlier, I was in a car accident a year ago. My insurance was State Farm. State Farm and has determined it's no fault of my own. But since I got in a car accident and my roof got damaged and I called roadside assistance because of the shitty roads, I've blown 3 tires on my car. They cut my insurance off. Said, we're not covering it.
You've been paying premiums for years. They just cut you. Yep, we hear that all the time, man.
It's crazy. I will say they, at least with my truck, they wrote me a check for the truck right away. But the rest of it's been dragging on for a year.
Yeah. And
I have all of the right insurance. I have 3 cars with uninsured motorists.
You do everything right.
6 motorcycles with uninsured motorists. I have close to $1 million in uninsured motorist coverage on all of my combined on all of my vehicles. Yeah. The money's there, but you got to fight them to get it. And Chris Klotz, who's Justin's really good friend, since he's down in my area, is the guy who's helping me fight State Farm on that right now. They're shit.
You're speaking a story that I hear all too often, man, and you're not the only one. And if everybody did the right thing, if corporations did the right thing, I would not have a job, or I'd be doing something different. Maybe I'd be riding with you, shooting motorcycle content.
Absolutely.
But it's a fight we have to fight. We spoke a lot today. You're going to be down here. We're going to be at the Beaver Bar. I'm going to be going live tomorrow again. We'll keep this conversation going tomorrow, man. But I'm going to let you kind of rest because I know you've been on the road doing your thing. We're going to be hanging out here at Myrtle Beach Harley Davidson. We're still going to be here. The live stream's going to stop, but we'll still be here. The girls are here down at the Beaver Bar. We got some music going on down there. We'll be down there. We'll see you tomorrow. If you're thinking about coming down to Myrtle Beach, please jump on the road. Come on down here. Great weather. We're welcome to hear you. Get some swag. Sign up for our motorcycle giveaway. We'll catch you next time. MyrtleBeachBikerLawyer.com. Again, this is Chris Best. I'm Justin Lovely, and we'll see you next time we go live. I had to stop before we started. He fired me up. We went for another hour.
Yeah, I'm watching the batteries over there.
That's why I was like, that's a good spot.
With no internet and no power.
Oh, wow.
You got this live view thing?
Oh, yeah. I've used those with TV.
Yeah, you're familiar with them. They're great. But no internet, no power. And I come here today, and they've got a fan plug. They got a cord running over to the fan. I'm like, where's that damn cord the whole time? You know how much more we can do with the cord here? With a regular cord?
Yeah. They've had it the whole time?
I'm bringing the real stuff next time.
What's going on?
Yeah.
See it.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, they have an app on live view for your phone, and so when I was still in the news, I was crazy because anytime I got on a motorcycle on the weekend, I'd run into some insane breaking news.
Yeah.
Park my motorcycle, fire it live view, and then we're live on.
So he's trying to test it, so we're going to try to use it more and more all throughout for everything. So we're trying to use this as a test case.
So this is the $3,000 model. It doesn't do what the $9,000.
Yeah.
The $9,000 backpack ones, you get a lot of the back end support.
Yeah. Plus you also have different channels. So say all of the cell phone
and audio talkback, IFB, and all that stuff. Where You don't get that one with this one, but this was I wasn't going to start with the 9,000 and realize that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
But this one it's been working great.
Yeah, it's awesome. They're really good. I mean, we started using them in TV news about 10 years ago, and they just got better and better and better. Like